I was so different that I think trying to fit in at all was so obviously painful for me and for like other people who caught secondhand embarrassment.
Coming from SZA, these words might be shocking. She's been conquering the music scene for over a decade now, but turns out things haven't been as successful as one might think. Perhaps some of her biggest blunders have happened in live shows, and you'll probably be surprised to find out how controversial her career has been. But before any of that, we've got to begin right from the start. Born on November 8th, 1989, as Solana Imani Rowe in St. Louis, SZA spent her childhood in Maplewood, New Jersey. She frequently visited St. Louis to see her mom's side of the family. Her dad was a big shot at CNN, and her mom held an executive position at AT&T.
This is my mother telling me to be happy. She does every day.
Interestingly, SZA has an older half-sister named Panya Jamila. With a Christian mom and a Muslim dad, SZA was raised in the Muslim faith and still follows it today. For SZA, her connection to Islam is deep and meaningful. She feels the essence of her spirituality in the tenets of Islam, like the belief in one God and the pillars of the faith. It's her way of connecting with the divine. She once shared that she'd love to wear her hijab, but she's mindful about balancing her religious respect with her career. She doesn't want to wear it while performing on stage and appearing in videos, out of respect for her faith, her father, and herself. Talking about SZA's beginnings, school days were pretty intense too. She attended a Muslim prep school after her regular classes, where her dad made her wear a hijab. But after the September 11th attacks, she faced bullying in 7th grade and stopped wearing it. She went to Columbia High School, where she was into gymnastics and cheerleading. After graduating in 2008, she hopped between 3 colleges before landing at Delaware State University to study marine biology. Yet, she decided to drop out in her last semester, working various jobs to earn money. SZA's stage name is another cool story. She took inspiration from the Supreme Alphabet and rapper RZA of the Wu-Tang Clan. The Z and A in her name stand for Zigzag and Allah, while the S can mean either savior or sovereign. Getting into the time SZA's career began, we've got to go back to around 2011 when she met the folks from Top Dog Entertainment during the CMJ New Music Report. Her boyfriend's clothing company sponsored a show where Kendrick Lamar was performing, and that's how her early music reached TDE President Terrence "Punch" Henderson. He was blown away by her talent, and they stayed in touch. After releasing 2 EPs and creating quite a buzz, SZA was signed by TDE in 2013, becoming their first female artist. Her early recordings were a bit of a DIY affair, done with friends and neighbors by snagging beats from the internet. On October 29, 2012, she self-released her debut EP, See SZA Run. Then, on April 10, 2013, she dropped her second EP, S, which got rave reviews from music critics. She promoted it with a music video for the song Ice Moon, directed by Lamar and Dooley. By July 2013, Top Dog officially signed her. October 2013 was a very active month for SZA. She was able to tour with the Swedish band Little Dragon and had recently performed in venues like the El Rey Theater in LA and the Music Hall of Williamsburg in Brooklyn. In December of that year, she released Teen Spirit along with a remix of the same song, which featured 50 Cent. However, the year 2014 can be considered the year of the grand breakthrough for this musician. She contributed to songs and albums like Isaiah Rashad's first debut EP, Sylvia Demo, and Schoolboy Q's first album, Oxymoron. On 26th of March 2014, she came up with Child's Play, a song that also featured Chance the Rapper. Her studio EP, Z, was released on 8th of April 2014. The first released single, Babylon, was accompanied by a music video shot by A+ Films. She advertised Z with several performances at the SXSW Music Festival that took place in Austin, Texas. Z entered the UK mainly on the R&B chart starting at number 32 and on the US Billboard 200 at number 39, with a total of 6,980 copies sold in the first week. It also rose to the 9th position on the Billboard Hip Hop R&B chart. After that, SZA began recording her 4th EP, A, which she released in October 2014. She also appeared on Kitty Cash's song Mood Ring, released in July 2014, and collaborated with Jill Scott on Divinity. On July 11, 2014, she released a video for Julia from Z, and in December, she and the internet opened for Jhené Aiko on her Enter the Void tour. On November 18, 2014, she unleashed a song, Sobriety, which took a different twist from her previous songs. Things were well going for SZA during this period, but in the subsequent years after 2015, her career progressed to the next level. I just let the beat tell me what to do, and then I start babbling and making words, and it starts to form itself. It's like a puzzle. Sometimes I write down phrases, but I never go back to those, even though they're always good-ass phrases. During the time that she was putting out CTRL, or as it was then called A, SZA was also writing tracks for other pop icons like Beyonce and Rihanna at the same time.
I think for this album, it was like me learning what is an album, who am I, what is my style.
She not only composed it, but also sang it, and even duetted the song with Rihanna at the Brit Awards 2016. Jump to the beginning of 2017, and SZA released Drew Barrymore, which featured on CTRL. Her Grammy-nominated 2017 debut, CTRL, was a brand-defining blueprint for her multi-dimensional take on alt-pop R&B. And then the big news came on April 28, 2017. SZA inked her first record deal with RCA Records. So, by June 9th, 2017, CTRL was out and gaining recognition, getting praise. In no time, it had amassed a Metacritic score of 86/100. The album started at the 3rd position on the US Billboard 200 list and had 125,000 album equivalent units in the first week. The single Love Galore was one of the tracks on the album that quickly rose to the Hot 100 Billboard's top 40 and was later certified as a platinum single. Even Time magazine said that Control is the best album of the year 2017. That's what you call a breakthrough. Between August 2017 and February 2018, SZA went on the Cuttrell Tour, where she did more than 50 performances in North America and Oceania. She even performed as an opening act for Bryson Tiller's European tour between October and November 2017. Later in 2017, SZA collaborated with Maroon 5 on the song titled What Lovers Do, which debuted at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. This was her first ever hit where she was the main act, and for her, this was quite a big achievement. To a degree rare, even for a musician, SZA's art is inseparable from the rest of her. The following month, she released Quicksand on the soundtrack for HBO's Insecure and collaborated with Khalid, Post Malone, and Lorde for a remix to Homemade Dynamite. Also, she released a record with Mark Ronson and Kevin Parker of Tame Impala, a collaborative album. In the eyes of everybody who was looking, this girl was on fire. The biggest day for SZA was on November 28, 2017, as she received 5 Grammy nominations, which included the category of Best New Artist. She had the most nominations for any female artist that year and only trailed behind 3 other artists. Although she did not get the opportunity to win the award, just getting nominated to be an award contender was a great accomplishment.
I think the best music has integrity, and when you cannot have integrity for someone else.
In January 2018, SZA teamed up with Kendrick Lamar on the latter project's Black Panther soundtrack song, All the Stars. The song reached its best position of 7, and it made SZA bag a second hit song in the Billboard Hot 100 list. She also collaborated with Cardi B on I Do, which is on Cardi B's album Invasion of Privacy. In May 2019, SZA collaborated with DJ Khaled on the song Just Us, which is in the album Father of Assad. A music video was also made soon after. Next, on February 26, 2020, she returned once again with Justin Timberlake for the song called The Other Side, which was also included in the Trolls World Tour movie soundtrack. As if that wasn't enough success, in March 2020, SZA joined the WME Agency for Management on all fronts. She went on to perform a concert in New Jersey, along with Bruce Springsteen and Bon Jovi, to help those who fell ill because of COVID-19. In May 2020, SZA engaged her fans on Twitter by saying she has so many unreleased songs, could be as many as 20. Later in August, she continued this by tweeting that fans should ask TDE President Terrence Punch Henderson about new music from her. But at last, on September 4, 2020, SZA released a new song, Hit Different, with Ty Dolla $ign and with production from the Neptunes. She then caught everyone off guard by releasing Good Days on December 25, 2020, although she hinted at it in the Hit Different visual. Although it never intended to be a single, Good Days climbed up to the 9th position on the Billboard Hot 100, making it SZA's first top 10 hit as a solo artist.
I was just writing about this particular boy. I really liked him. He was low-key, trash to me, but I really liked his validation.
Jacob Collier also chipped in to do backing vocals for the song. Good Days was eventually included in the track list of her second studio album, which people had been waiting for. SZA then collaborated with Doja Cat on April 9th, 2021 to release a song titled Kiss Me More. This song was not just a hit song, it was a banger on the global stage. It reached the #1 position in New Zealand, and on the charts of more than 15 nations, it entered the top 40. It even charted in the top 10 in the US, Canada, the the UK, Australia, Ireland, and even Lithuania. The song was accompanied by its music video that was released on the same day. Toward the end of the year 2021, SZA released her version of The Anonymous Ones, which is a soundtrack of the movie Dear Evan Hansen. Her version does play, though, at the end credits of the said movie, which is pretty neat. Following that was the much-anticipated track with Summer Walker. No Love was released on November 5th, 2021, after fans had been dancing to teasers since June. One song even threatened to shake the R&B charts, and subsequently, it received an updated version with a music video in March the next year. The other significant day was on December 3rd, 2021. The TikTok song I Hate You by SZA became popular even before the song was officially out. In February 2018, following the 64th annual Grammy Awards, SZA said she had completed work on her second album and intended to release it soon. The album CTRL was SZA's first studio album, and it was released on June 9th, 2017. So on June 9th, 2022, she released a deluxe version of the album. This was not a simple remake. It included 7 songs that the public had never heard before, such as 2 AM, Jody, Percolator, and an unplugged version of Love Galore without Travis Scott. Later, on October 28, 2022, SZA gave us another banger with Shirt, complete with a music video starring Lakeith Stanfield. This song had been teased since late 2020 and gained popularity on TikTok thanks to a viral challenge. Fans were ecstatic to see it finally drop, especially with another teaser snippet of a song called Blind at the end of the Shirt video. On her 33rd birthday, November 8, 2022, SZA gave fans a teaser titled PSA on Instagram. The video ended with Morse code spelling out SOS, sparking all kinds of speculation about her next project. By November 16, 2022, Billboard confirmed that her second studio album would be titled SOS, set for a December release. On November 30, SZA revealed the album cover on Instagram. SZA rocked NBC's Saturday Night Live with performances of Shirt and Blind, and finally announced that SOS would drop on December 9, 2022. When it did, the album topped the Billboard 200 albums chart for 7 consecutive weeks, making it the longest-running #1 album by a woman in this decade. It was also the first R&B album to achieve this since Whitney Houston's Whitney in 1987. To promote SOS, SZA embarked on the SOS Tour in 2023, an arena tour across North America and Europe with a whopping 54 shows. Opening acts included Omar Apollo, David, and Ray, making for an unforgettable concert experience. When you think about it, SZA's musical influences are as diverse as her sound. She grew up listening to a mix of R&B, jazz, and hip-hop, thanks to her family. Her mom loved R&B and church music. Her dad was into jazz and funk legends like Miles Davis and Billie Holiday, and her sister jammed to melodic rap and hip-hop artists like Tupac Shakur, Ella Fitzgerald, Lauryn Hill, and Ashanti are some of the artists who shaped SZA's music. She's got a particular admiration for Lauryn Hill and has loved Ashanti since she was a kid. Other influences included Mila, Red Hot Chili Peppers, LFO, Macy Gray, Common, Bjork, Jamiroquai, and a whole lot of Wu-Tang Clan members like Nas, Mos Def, and Jay-Z. In interviews, SZA often mentions how her influences came from not just music, but also ballet and other forms of art. She loved dancing to Bjork's music and was inspired by older musical legends. Jamiroquai is her ultimate favorite. SZA's songwriting is all about passion and poetry. She freestyles her lyrics, which can sometimes be cryptic even to her. Her themes often explore nostalgia and feelings of abandonment, making her music deeply personal and relatable. Critics love to box SZA into the R&B genre, but she's way more than that. She's expressed frustration with being pigeonholed and aims to prove her versatility with every project. Her second studio album, SOS, was her declaration of independence from any single genre, showing off her range from pop to rap to soul. SZA's career has been full of successes, and you probably have no doubts about it so far, but it has also been riddled with controversies.
I would literally open the door mid-pee. Why? Why not? Because now I know that you might be looking in my medicine cabinet.
On April 30th, 2024, SZA had a massive meltdown in front of all of her fans during a concert in Melbourne, exclaiming, "I will leave," after getting fed up with their disruptive behavior. Most of the footage from her concerts shows her nailing all her hits with the crowd vibing along in perfect harmony. But not everything was smooth sailing. At the Rod Laver Arena, things got so out of hand that SZA nearly walked off the stage. Reports say the chaos included fans throwing shoes and mobile phones at her. SZA had to step up and address the crowd, making it clear that they shouldn't throw things at her because she's a person. You could tell she was seriously annoyed, and who wouldn't be? The security team had their hands full too. They had to deal with a fan who got into a fight in the crowd. And if that wasn't enough, someone tried to pull off a handstand in the steep seating area, lost their balance, and tumbled onto another person. One fan posted a video on TikTok after the show, expressing how they were sad to see that Melbourne will forever be SZA's least favorite destination due to pitiful behavior from some people in the crowd. The overwhelming posters, selfish flyers, and ridiculous attention-seeking activity were all a bit too much. Despite the hiccups, SZA continued to deliver stellar performances, showing her resilience and dedication to her fans. However, her reaction was definitely something that had never been seen before. Way before this, though, there was another controversy that threatened to bring SZA's entire career down. Kendrick Lamar and SZA's music video for All the Stars from the Black Panther soundtrack ended up facing some serious allegations of art theft. British Liberian artist Lena Iris Victor claimed that her artwork was used without permission. This controversy hit headlines right after the video was released. The New York Times reported that Marvel representatives approached Victor in November 2016 and again in December 2017, seeking to use her artwork in the film. However, she turned them down both times. Despite her refusals, elements similar to her Constellation series appeared in the video around the 2:59 mark. Victor's lawyer, Christopher Robinson, sent a letter to Tiffith over the weekend, pointing out the copyright violation. Victor expressed her dismay to the New York Times, highlighting the ethical issue at the core of the dispute. She emphasized that Black Panther, a film celebrating Black empowerment and African excellence, should not exploit African artists. Victor learned about the video's content through friends who recognized her work in it. Okay, Africa also noted the clear influence of Victor's art in the video. The letter detailed the alleged infringement, citing 19 seconds of footage that incorporated not only the unique look of her work, but also specific elements from her Constellations series. These elements include stylized motifs of mythical animals, gilded geometric forms on a black background, and distinctively textured areas and patterns arranged in a grid-like format. Victor stressed that her primary concern was the principle, rather than compensation. She wanted to take a stand against cultural appropriation, which she sees as a recurring issue for African American artists. In an interview, she stated that cultural appropriation is something that continually happens to African American artists, and she wanted to make a stand. Eventually, the situation dissipated, but this was a very big allegation that SZA ended up becoming part of. But every artist's career is full of ups and downs. And when it comes to SZA, one of them was pretty recent. Following the stellar sets by Dua Lipa and Coldplay, Glastonbury's headliner in early July 2024 had some big shoes to fill. Initially, fans were buzzing about a potential appearance by pop icon Madonna, but when that didn't pan out, the spotlight fell on SZA. It wasn't surprising, because SZA is one of the most streamed artists globally, known for her dynamic and confident performances. Her intricate and honest takes on modern relationships have made her a favorite among millennials. But despite her star power, her magic didn't quite hit the pyramid stage that night. Unfortunately, SZA pulled in the smallest crowd for a Glastonbury headliner in over 20 years. Technical issues didn't help her case either, as her microphone was distorted and muffled for the first half hour. This was a major setback for an artist whose appeal is heavily tied to her precise lyrics and beautiful, jazzy vocal runs. To make matters worse, SZA committed a festival faux pas by not engaging with the audience much. Her only shout-out early in the show was asking if any of her Day One fans were there. "You know I need you, right?" she asked, perhaps sensing that this wasn't her usual crowd. When she got to her hit song Kill Bill, with its darkly comic murder fantasy, many fans had already drifted away to catch other acts like The National, James Blake, and London Grammar. But don't get it twisted, SZA still put on an incredible performance. Those who stayed were treated to her spectacular vocal range, which filled the field without losing an ounce of intimacy. Mid-set, she delivered a spectacular performance of Nobody Gets Me, a ballad about struggling to move on after a breakup. It was easily the most moving moment from any headliner on the pyramid stage all weekend. Young fans in the audience were visibly touched, holding their hands to their chests and mouthing the lyrics. SZA's openness is rare for a famous person. She holds what she calls A-team gatherings after concerts, inviting the front section fans whom she's been watching during the show backstage to hang out. Other standout moments included the rock-infused F2F and the 80s pop hit Kiss Me More, which she mashed up with Prince's Kiss. The visual experience was just as impressive, divided into 3 sections that depicted the stages of getting over a broken heart. She kicked things off in a dingy cave, symbolizing her emotional fortress, surrounded by stalactites and performing Drew Barrymore while perched on a giant ant. The second part, Robot World, showcased her inner turmoil with songs like Snooze, Kill Bill, and I Hate You. Finally, in the Coming Home segment, SZA sprouted wings, climbed a tree, and performed uplifting tracks like Saturn and Good Days. SZA wrapped up her set with 20-something, an anthem about navigating your 30s. She descended from her elaborate set to sing directly with fans in the front row. She confessed that she had been very nervous about the day, but she was grateful for the love and respect that she received. I feel like self-expression is supposed to change and morph. I find that now I am more childlike and playful than I was in maybe that middle section of my career, where I kind of lost myself and started caring so much about what people thought. But in the aftermath, it's unfortunate that SZA's performance will be remembered for the wrong reasons. She later posted a reflective message on X, acknowledging the negative response. She said that the bravery required to be alive in public is remarkable. In the end, she gave a shout out to everybody doing that. This probably makes you wonder, how does SZA mentally cope with all of this? Well, even her openness about her struggles with mental health has attracted quite a bit of controversy. One major point of contention arose from her candid remarks about living with ADHD. SZA has shared on multiple occasions how challenging it is to manage unmedicated ADHD, describing it as really hard and noting that it often feels like she's ready to tap out due to the lack of empathy from others who are also busy with their lives. She highlighted the deeper issues beyond procrastination, such as severe forgetfulness and difficulty focusing, which significantly affect her creativity and daily functioning. Her comments on social media also stirred controversy. SZA has been very expressive about the negative impact social media has on her mental health. She has described the internet as demonic and deleted her TikTok account to protect her mental health during Mental Health Awareness Month. SZA explained that the constant scrutiny and dehumanizing comments from online platforms contribute to her anxiety and mental exhaustion, making her question her career choices at times. I just try to acknowledge what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling overstimulated, I'm still learning how to distance myself. I also make white baths for myself and pray and meditate twice a day. I try to go before and after my show. She even mentioned considering leaving the music industry to escape the relentless pressure and negativity. SZA's transparency about these issues has resonated with many fans, but it has also led to mixed reactions. Some appreciate her honesty and see it as a necessary conversation about mental health in the public eye, while others have criticized her for being too open, which they believe could attract more negativity. However, in interviews, SZA has emphasized the paradox of the music industry, where artists are expected to maintain a facade of perfection while grappling with intense personal struggles. She described the industry as psychosis-inducing due to the constant need for validation and the unrealistic expectations placed on artists. This relentless pressure has made her consider leaving the industry multiple times, despite her love for creating music, which she views as her form of therapy and meditation. In January 2022, SZA added more context to her struggles with mental health, specifically concerning Top Dog Entertainment in an interview. She explained that the delays and the lack of clear communication about her album releases have been a significant source of stress. This wasn't the first time she was talking about it. In August 2020, SZA took to Twitter to voice her grievances, stating that her new music was being held up by Punch. She told fans that despite her efforts, the final decision lay with Punch, who responded to inquiries about her unreleased music with vague answers like, soon. This led SZA to describe their relationship as hostile, expressing her exasperation by tweeting, "Welcome to my effing life," and BRB yelling at the wall. The tension escalated as fans of SZA flooded Punch's social media, demanding the release of her new music. In response, Punch tweeted about his feelings being hurt by the backlash, adding a layer of personal conflict to the professional disagreement. Despite these public spats, Punch acknowledged the controversy, suggesting a nuanced and complex relationship between the artist and the label. So, even though SZA's managed to remain consistently popular within her fan base, it can't be said for sure that her career path isn't riddled with difficulties and controversies. If you enjoyed this video, click on the ones showing on your screen now to watch similar content.